Good girl. Another marshmallow? Good girl. Another treat? Good girl and marshmallow. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. I'm getting the side going now. There's no more marshmallows in there. Somebody hasn't been feeling too good lately, so we're just trying to encourage her to eat in any way we can. Let's see. So, welcome to Porch. I just got little treats here for her. Welcome to Porch Light Letters podcast number 2183. And tonight we are on night 3 of, what is our theme this week? Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. Tiny acts of boldness. Yes. Tiny acts of boldness is our theme this week. Tonight's show is tiny risk, big shift. So what are you doing that's tiny? And I'm just going to finish giving her these little things here. Got to keep her blood sugar up. And yeah, we didn't get to go for a walk this morning because we were on seizure alert. And she's been doing pretty well most of the day, but she's been sleeping a lot this afternoon. So I doubt she's going to do her walk tonight. We did a walk last night and ended up carrying a... That's it. It's gone. See? It's empty. It's empty. See? Got to get the crumbs on the bottom. Okay. But you can go get some water. Okay? Go get some water and there's food in your bowl. Now even put some of those little sprinkly things on. Yes. Sorry. Okay. I had to get her moving in some way. So I had to bribe her. Bribery and corruption works very well when it comes to Zeffie with treats and things like that. So hopefully she'll... Oh, no, she's just gone lay down. Excellent. All right. So where are we at? All right. Hi. Welcome. Sometimes it's the little things, like making sure Zeffie eats and that sort of stuff. So, yeah. She wasn't eating. We gave her stuff to eat this morning. She wasn't in the mood for going for a walk. She didn't want to ask if she wanted to put her jacket on, which is her harness. No reaction. Usually she gets up and she comes trotting over to where I am with her harness in hand, and no reaction this morning. So we just stayed quiet today. We went outside for a little bit, maybe a little too long, and she was laying in the sun. And I think we stayed out there a little too long because she got very out of it. I had to end up picking her up, bringing her inside and laying her on the floor, on the mat there in front of the TV where the floor fan is, and it just swivels backwards and forwards across her body. Then I got her to drink some water, and I got her to eat as well. So we avoided any seizures this morning and just been watching her this afternoon and making sure she eats throughout the day and get some water, but she's nowhere drunk enough water today or eaten enough. So even though we went for a walk last night and ended up carrying her home most of the way, I doubt we will be walking this evening. So we shall just see how she goes. Might have to go for a little walk, but we'll see. Anyway, so tiny risk, big shift. Whew, let's go talk about that now. So any thoughts and prayers towards Zeffie would be greatly appreciated. I think it's because the last of the old steroids is fleeing her system, I think is what it is. Because she hasn't had the old steroid, anything to do with the old steroid since Friday. And she's been completely on the new steroid alone with no weaning of stuff. So anyway, get my head back on my shoulders. Sorry. Okay, so tiny risk, big shift. Night 3 of the episode 3 of the tiny acts of boldness. Some of the boldest decisions we make don't look like bold to others. They're the quiet risks, the tiny pivots, the whispered yeses, and the 5-second windows when we do something different. And that small shift can change everything. Yes, it teaches us boldness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a gentle nudge. A tiny risk taken at the right moment opens up new paths. Courage is a muscle built in small movements. Every micro shift in your actions starts rewiring your belief in yourself. I love that. So what happens when you step outside your comfort zone just long enough to stretch? You notice that you would usually avoid and you try a new response. You trust your instinct to try even if you're not sure you'll succeed. you realize that confidence can follow action, not just precede it. Yeah, I don't know where my comfort zone is anymore. Casey kicked me out of my comfort zone years ago. And every time it looks like I'm about to get comfortable in a new spot because I don't know where my comfort zone is, I figure I'll just make one right here. He comes along and kicks me out of that one. So it's always good when you have friends and mentors who will not allow you to get comfortable. They want you to, a true friend is always encouraging you to stretch and grow and keep moving forward. That is a true friend. Yes, you may have some friends who might say, hey, just take a day off here, a day off there, let's go do this, let's go do that, who try to keep you where you are. No, they're not true friends. The true friends are the ones that help you stretch and grow and keep moving forward. How we carry forward is we celebrate every brave moment, even the invisible ones. Keep track of tiny shifts because they add up. Those little steps. It's like when I'm talking to people and they go, what do you do for a to-do list? And I go, I use these things. How do keeping track of the tiny shifts add up? You get yourself, this one here is the sticky note method that I have known for years. And you take sticky notes, and I have a variety of colors of sticky notes, and you write one task per sticky note that takes no longer than 45 to 50 minutes. And when you write out what the task is, down here in the corner, you put how many minutes that task is going to take. Is it a 5-minute task, a 10-minute task, a 3-minute task, a 15-minute task? Then throughout the day, when you get extra time and you go, oh, what tasks am I doing? You go to your wall where all your Post-it notes are and you look through and find ones, oh, I can go do that one. And you peel it off and you go do it. And then you screw it up. And eventually, by the end of the week, you will have these massive holes in your on your Post-it wall, or where you have all your Post-its on, you'll have these holes appearing, and they are tiny, just little tiny to-dos, but they add up. And that is a physical way that you can watch those little tiny shifts. It's taking that little moment of time that you have available, taking a sticky note off the wall and going and doing that task. And eventually by the end of the week, you've got these big gaps there, and you're like, wow, I really accomplished a lot this week. Yes. Let courage be a companion, not a performance. So take your sticky notes and use them. And you can color code them as well. I have various, they're over there buried. Okay. They're buried over there right now. But I have different colors for different things. Sometimes, and at the top, I have those Post-it notes that are like about this big, and they've got lines on them. And at the top, I have, this is what the big project is. And I stick it at the top. And then underneath, I have all the sticky notes. That is one task with, a time written here. And what that tells me is that, and then looking at the color sticky note, I do it by the software program. What method am I going to use for that thing? Is it an AI program I'm using? Is it a software program I'm using? Like it could be, I've got to go into Google Docs and do something in there, or Google Sheets or Excel or Word. I really don't like Google's document thingamabobs, but I do have to use them because there are people that I have to share stuff with through that system. And the color tells me what method I am using to do that task. It could be handwriting. It could be, I've got a color for handwriting, sitting down with pen and paper and just brainstorming. Yeah, that takes a lot of colored markers, that one, and a clear dining table, which I don't have right now because it's using me helping store stuff. So there's each Post-it has a different color for the method that's going to be required to get that task complete. So, and trust me, when you get to like if you get it ready on Saturday or Sunday, like I will spend Sunday getting my board ready and putting my Post-it notes up there. But when I get to like Friday, I'm looking at that thing going, there's some big holes in there. Tiny shifts add up. And that is a physical way that you can keep track of your tiny shifts. They add up. They do. They really, really do. Sorry, I just forgot to turn my sound off. So let courage be your companion, not a performance. Find a way to track your tiny shifts so that you can see how they add up. Let courage be a companion, not a performance. Be kind to yourself in the moments after the risk. There are times that taking that small step is going to be a risk. You've got to be bold enough to take that step. That's when the doubt often speaks the loudest, is when you start doubting yourself, or you've taken that step and you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Did I do it right? And you start like hyperventilating. You might start having little panic attacks, things like that, when you have actually taken that one of the boldest steps. It might be a little step, but it could be a very bold step that you have taken. So always be kind to yourself after you've taken that step. The shifts we make today can ripple far beyond us. When we dare, even just a little, we show the next generation that they can choose differently too. Your boldness might just be the story someone else needs to hear. And I'm always telling people, tell your story, because somebody out, you might not think you have a story to tell. Everybody has a story to tell. And something that you've been through in your story may help somebody else. It just takes one person. It's like, here's my Fusca. It's like writing this song. That started off as my story. Once I actually had singers, once I actually had music to it, and it actually went from lyrics written on a page to an actual song, that is when it took on a life of its own. It no longer became just my story. It became stories for other people who are going through struggles, who have been through, going through, or have been through struggles. It talks about getting up and keep moving forward. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, just go scan the QR code up here on the top left hand, this one up here. And it will take you to the YouTube channel, and the two will be there, and just play them and listen to them, listen to the words. And so I said, because somebody asked me, what is your intent with this song? I said, well, originally it was to leave my story. It was because I wrote that song. It was my story. And my intent was to leave it as a legacy for my grandchildren, my nieces and my nephews, and their families. I said, but as soon as it became a song that had music and voice to it, it took on a whole nother life. It became something bigger than just me. It became an anthem for those who are going through struggles, anthem for those who have been through struggles. And it started just becoming this, this being, this entity that was out there, calling to other people. So it not only became my story, it became the story of others as well. And I said, if that song helps one person, just one person, get through some struggle that they're going through right now, it was worth taking the time to put the pen to paper to write it, and then to go and find some music and to go get it turned into a song with music and singers. That was my little move. That was my tiny risk, was taking lyrics and putting them to music and having singers sing it, making it into a song. That was my little, my tiny risk, was exposing myself with the words of my song, taking that tiny risk. And the big shift is it can help others who are going through that as well. So sometimes your move is a little one, it's just a little move, just a tiny, tiny risk. So here's some reflection questions for you to go into your, I'm not very organized tonight, am I? Into your porch light reflection journal. To go into that, the questions are, and they're written in the description below. What tiny risk have you been thinking about taking lately? That's a good one. Number 2, how can you remind yourself that small shifts still count? Number 3, what changed the last time you stepped slightly out of your comfort zone? And number 4, who might be watching and inspired by your quiet boldness? And our closing thought for this evening, one tiny risk, one quiet move. That's all it takes to change your direction. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just move with the courage you have right now. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Pacific time. I have a mastermind group at 5, and that's going to go over 6. So we're going to say 7 p.m. tomorrow evening-ish. Mastermind group meeting tomorrow night. Anyway, but we'll catch you tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.